What's up, everybody? This is Aztec 101 in the ring. And I guess Saul Canelo Alvarez had yesterday announced who his next opponent is going to be for March 8th. Apparently, it's Alfredo El Perro Angulo. And in my opinion, that's going to be a great fight. It's a great fight. An excellent platform for Angulo. It's a great platform for Canelo. You put Angulo in there, and it just makes for an exciting fight. You look at how the fight went with Lara and Angulo, and it was an exciting fight because Angulo didn't fight Lara's fight. Angulo was able to fight his fight. So it's just the style that Angulo brings. He's not the most technical fighter. He's not the fastest fighter. I don't even think he hits harder than Canelo. But we'll find out. We're gonna find out who's the stronger puncher in this fight. In my opinion, anything can go down. I mean, I'm a big fan of Saul Canelo Alvarez, but I'm not gonna be surprised if Angulo can knock him down. I would not be surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened the other way either. If Angulo fell on his ass, I just expect that it's going to be a war in this fight. The only thing that would surprise me, though, is if somehow Saul Canelo Alvarez can neutralize Alfredo Angulo's aggressiveness. If he can do that, then that would be surprising, but that won't make for an entertaining fight. I think he'll catch heat for that. Even though if it was another fighter, if it was, let's say, Floyd Mayweather, people would say, "Oh, that's just that's his skill. That's how the sweet science. Hit and don't get hit. You know what I mean?" But whatever. Sometimes it's better to sting like a bee than to fly like a butterfly. You know what I mean? So I expect Saul Canelo Alvarez to come in there and try to play basically, off this loss. Use it as his motivation to put on a good show. And I think that Alfredo Angulo has, the same thing, except, he wants to close off his career. He's right now at the tipping point. So, he's probably got another 5-6 more fights left in him, a couple more years, and this will be a great way for him to have a solid match that could, if he can pull this off. I mean, I don't see, if Angulo beats Canelo, I don't see why Angulo shouldn't get a rematch with Lara. Just a lot of opportunities for future fights. And if Canelo wins, it's a perfect setup for Canelo versus Lara. I think I like Lara. And I want to. The one reason why I don't think this is a good time for Lara to fight Canelo, and I'm looking at this from Lara's point of view. I don't think he's going to get, even if he wins, financially, he's not going to get what he deserves in that fight, just because he doesn't bring enough people or enough fans to the table. He doesn't have that that leverage. So he's gonna get gypped when it comes down to pay-per-views and shit like that. I think that what he needs to do is try to get interviews, whether it's on Spanish network or try to learn a little bit of English. Canelo, you see him trying to learn a little bit of English, even though it's choppy and it's only a couple words, but he'll answer, yeah, yes, I want, yes, I want, the best. I want the best, and then he starts putting words together and he makes some sentences here and there. See Pacquiao, he's developed his, he's able to speak English a lot better. He can do interviews and answer the question, basically with he can describe what he wants to say a lot better. I feel like he can express himself in English now a lot better. So, Lara needs to take that step. He needs to learn English. But that's another topic. I guess I'm going off on a rant. But in the end, I want to see Lara get more fans, have that leverage for the Canelo fight, make the Canelo fight and the Lara versus Canelo a huge event. Right now, it just doesn't have that potential. The only one that would be carrying that event would be Canelo and Canelo fans. And, that's just not what makes a huge event. There needs to be, both of them needs to bring their own fan base. So that's all I want to see. I want to see Lara just step his game up a little bit, take a couple more interviews, try to show his face, and that's it. And try to go to different places, go to different cities, different states. Don't just get caught up in where you're at, and be comfortable with that. You know what I mean? Just step your game up. That's it. In the end, there's 3 more fights for Canelo this year alone. So, Angulo's 1 down. We still don't know who the next 2 are going to be. We don't know what even the outcome of this fight's going to be. I'm not going to predict what's going to happen exactly because I don't know. I need to, do my research and add up the numbers and then come back and give you guys a full prediction. But the only thing that I got right now from looking at this matchup is that it's going to be an exciting fight. Now, a lot of people are actually not very happy with the matchup. Not just because maybe it has to do with the fact that Lara isn't involved, but they're saying that it's not pay-per-view worthy. I don't know. In my opinion, I'd definitely pay for it. I don't see why not. I don't pay for a pay-per-view to watch big names or something like that. I watch a pay-per-view when it's a good fight. You know what I mean? That's why I pay for it. For example, you got like Paulie Malignaggi and fucking Paulie and the fuck Zab Judah. Almost forgot his name. I watched that fight because it had a strong undercard, and I watched that fight because the undercards carried it. But as far as that main event, without the undercard, I don't think I would have paid for it at all. But that fight, it needed it. But then you go to let's say Adrian Broner and Marcos Maidana. I paid for that fight not because it had a strong undercard, but because I wanted to see that fight. That's the fight I wanted to see because I thought it was going to be a very exciting fight. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel. I feel like Angulo and Saul Canelo Alvarez will be an exciting fight. It is what it is. Angulo isn't the most technical fighter, but he does have a good coach behind him, and he's going to be able to, put on a good show. And in this fight, I feel like someone's going to go down. Someone's going to go down a couple times. It is what it is. And like I said, it leads in perfectly. It leads in perfectly to that Saul Canelo Alvarez and Lara, or an Alfredo and Lara rematch. So that's a perfect gateway to a big event. All Lara needs is one big fight. And by me saying I want him to step his game up, I mean, this guy can be calling out Floyd Mayweather. I don't know if you guys know this, but Floyd Mayweather holds the WBA. I think it's the WBA light or junior middleweight title, and Lara is ranked Lara is ranked number 1 as far as the number 1 contender for that belt. Lara has every right to demand his fight. He can go out there and start calling him out, but I don't know why he's not. He's just not doing that. But he can be going out there saying, "I want to fight you, Floyd Mayweather. I want to fight you." He could take those. He could take the belt away from Floyd if he wins. If he loses, as long as he doesn't lose, you know, in devastating fashion where you get like knocked out or something or get beaten up. As long as he just puts on a good boxing match and tries his best, basically, with Floyd Mayweather, you'll get respect from the fans and he'll gain new fans. Especially if he can pull something off, like knock down Floyd or something. That'll be huge. So he can definitely... He needs to be calling out Floyd, man, because a lot of you guys don't know this, but he's up there as far as a contender. You know, a lot of people are talking about Pacquiao being the number one contender for the belt. Well, Lara is also the number one contender for one of Floyd Mayweather's belts. So I want to hear people start talking about that. And actually, you know what? If you guys stay long enough to listen to this part of the video, I want you guys to make a comment and let me know, do you think Floyd Mayweather should fight Lara next? Because in my opinion, I think that'll be a good fight, and that's a great platform for Lara, and that's it. That'll be a perfect 2014. Let me think. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Alfredo Angulo, March 8th. What do you guys think? Is it a pay-per-view event? Would you guys pay for this? I would, just because it looks like an exciting fight. That's why. That's the reason why. I know Angulo doesn't bring much of a name, but if you look at the options as far as Cotto, Angulo, and Carlos Molina, you don't really have much of an exciting option. And Alfredo Angulo is a tough matchup. His last performance wasn't, embarrassing. I can't take anything away from him, even though he lost. Lara hit him with a devastating shot, and Lara just has that one punch strength. He has that. He has it. We saw it against Trout. He just can damage you with one punch, and it's some devastating power. So I don't take anything away from Alfredo Angulo. It's not like he gave up and he didn't look like Victor Ortiz where you get up and you look fine. He had an obvious injury that needed to be taken care of immediately. So Alfredo Angulo, Canelo Alvarez, I find it an exciting fight. You guys let me know. And what do you guys think? You guys have to let me know. Shouldn't Floyd be calling out? Shouldn't Lara be calling out Floyd? I'm going to make a video about this. I'm going to make a separate video about this. This is Aztec 101 in the ring, and I'm out.